Good morning. Well, welcome to part 5, and I'm sad to say probably the last sort of dedicated mini orchard transformation video. I think moving forward, obviously, I will continue to give you updates in the orchard and that, but I'm hoping that by the end of this video, the transformation will be complete and we're just going to be basically keeping an eye on it and maintaining it and obviously, watching it hopefully flourish, which I will share with you in upcoming videos. But the main actual transformation should be done. I'm hoping to achieve quite a lot in this video in saying all of that. So we'll see how we go. And I imagine this video is going, well, I'm not imagining, this video is going to be sort of a multi-day vlog of these sort of final stages of the transformation. Gosh, the bees are obsessed with these powder puff perfection. Look at him there on that bloom. There's another one at the back over there that he's just gone to. But they really, really love them. I'm so pleased. This area is still a little bit of flushing out to do, and I definitely want to get a few more blue eyes just to fill in this gap. So these are the blue eyes here, and you can sort of see where there's little gaps where a few of them have actually died off as a result of the fruit trees being here. So if you can see, there is a sprinkler just here and another sprinkler here. So when the large navel orange trees were here, it actually blocked the sprinkler from reaching. So I'm hoping that now that we've got some lower sort of shrubs and flowering plants in here, that the sprinkler will make it all the way across and these blue eyes will sort of bounce back a little bit and be a lot happier. But I do want to just get a few little replacement plants for these areas just to kind of finish this space off. But let's continue to head down to the orchard. So what I wanted to do in the first part of this video is share the irrigation with you. Now, you would have seen last week that some irrigation piping had gone in. So the irrigation works are done now. And gosh, all of this is looking so pretty. And the gentleman who came to help out with the irrigation, we'd not used him before, but I have to say, I called him like on a Thursday, he came out on a Friday, and he was basically installing the irrigation on a Saturday. He was incredible. I will definitely be getting him back again and probably getting him to do a bit of an audit of the other areas in the garden, like this the back cottage garden area, and just seeing if there's any way we can improve the irrigation in those spaces to make sure plants are getting, decent coverage, that I'm being as water wise as possible, but still obviously providing for the plants. So yes, that's what I thought I would do for the first bit of this video, is just kind of spend a little bit of time discussing the irrigation. I won't spend a lot of time on it. I know not everyone is super interested in irrigation, but for those who are, or if you're really just kind of curious as to how I will be maintaining and watering this space, I thought we would do that. So just before we sort of get started on the irrigation, I thought I would give you a very quick plant update. As you can see, we are still getting some leaf fall. In saying that, this navel orange is still looking really great. This is all new growth here. And it is continuing to grow. So I think obviously it's experienced shock, thus the leaf fall. But I truly believe that they are going to bounce back, and yeah, that won't be an issue. The new little citrus here, I'm probably incorrectly allowing it to bloom at the moment, but I cannot bring myself to pull the flowers off. I think it's going to be too little to sustain fruit. If it fruits at all. I'm just looking to see if there's, yeah, it's starting a little bit. You can see just here under this one, there is a little orange starting. but it'll be too little to actually produce fruit. The lemon tree is still looking a little bit droopy, but we haven't had a significant amount of leaf fall, but you can see like the leaves are kind of curled in and they're all facing down. You can no doubt hear the breeze over the camera there. It is very blustery today, which is actually producing a very nice sound through the trees. I know there's like a word for that and I cannot think of what it is at the moment. So the reason I was looking so closely at this was I was wondering if there was new growth, and hopefully you can see here, just dead center there, that is new growth there. So again, I think that that's a really positive sign. They've all had a bit of a shock in the transfer, but definitely new growth is appearing on all of them. So, and I mean, this is the mandarin, and yeah, I'd say this here is new growth. Pretty much have had no leaf fall. Oh, that looks like one little leaf there, but very little leaf fall from the mandarin, and the leaves aren't droopy or anything, so it's actually holding up very well. The saga of this one here continues, still getting some leaf fall, but I do feel that, I'm shading it, I feel like these little growth points, I do feel like they are all new. So I'm quietly hopeful. I'm quietly hopeful that this one is going to make a full recovery after the shock. Peach tree is just loving life in her new position. She could not be happier. Look at all of her flowers going. Again, I do not think we're going to get peaches, but you never know, because I mean, there's more flowers just here, and there are still a few of the branches just to open up. So, gosh, you never know. We may get flowers. Obviously, it is too early for the cut flower seedlings that we planted together to start appearing, but that is all right. These are doing really well, and I'd say it's probably maybe another week and a half before I would even expect to see any sort of sprouts. Otherwise, everything else is looking really good. Like the lavender's going well, the powder puff perfections are doing really well. The rose, like look at that new growth on the rose. That is the yellow one, Banksia rose. Lavender doing well, powder puffs over here all doing really well. I mean, this one here, like look at all of this new growth, all of this is new. So she is very, very happy here. I'm just gonna thread that. So these are Banksia climbing roses. They're quite like a wild habit, is my understanding. I've never grown them before, so it will definitely be an experience with these ones. But yeah, I'm so pleased with how everything is looking. All of these new ones that we planted together, they all look really happy. We're still getting really nice flowers. You can kind of see like all the little insects down there. Look how happy these ones are. They're already standing up. Got all new little buds on these. But yes, so that is a bit of a plant health update in the orchard. I am truly really happy with how everything is looking, and at the moment it doesn't look like I'm going to lose any of the plants, so I'm over the moon about that. But now let's focus on the irrigation. So let's start at the beginning and I'll kind of show you what my setup looks like. Okay. So this is probably not the prettiest thing to show you, but it is vital and very practical. So this is my irrigation sort of control area. I have a manual irrigation. I do know you can get automatic. It's a personal preference of mine. I prefer the manual. It just means that I can control very, very easily when things sort of are being watered or not. If we get a lot of rain, for example, I obviously will not water the garden. I'm trying to be as water wise as possible. And obviously I don't want to water the garden either. Everything will get waterlogged. So I've got this manual kind of control here. It's got its little timer, and then these are the zones. So this one here on the end goes towards the hose, which is fine. And then I have 3 zones set up. And so when I'm wanting to irrigate, I just turn the tap on, turn the timer on, and then open up one of the valves, and it will obviously direct the water to that zone. Once, you know, my 20 minutes or so has passed, the timer turns off, the water turns off. I obviously come out, and I have a timer set inside, so I will come out and then I switch it over to the next zone. As I said, manual works really well for me. I know a lot of people prefer automatic. I'm pretty sure you can get really U-Butte ones that like connect to your phone, and you can change all the settings and things from your phone. But I'm not super technologically advanced in that kind of area, and this works so well for me. I've had this set up for, I would say, probably 7-8 years now, and I've never had an issue with it. Same setup, no changes. It's been brilliant. So I'm sticking with what I know. So at the moment, if I stand up, we've got, so one zone originally was for this whole bed along here, this bed here, and the kitchen garden area. Another zone was for this bed here and this bed here, and then the last and third zone was for this bed here. Okay, so that was my original setup, and so I didn't want to add any sort of extra. You can obviously see I've still got my 3 zones there. So what the irrigation gentleman was able to do was put an isolator onto the first zone that I told you about, so this here and this here, and what we have done is actually split them into 2. So the main sort of hose valve goes under the concrete and comes out, which I'll show you in a moment, comes out on the other side here of the sun deck, and he's put an isolator valve on. So one side we can now water, well, I can water this side here with one twist, and then I can close that valve and open the other valve and water this bed, the kitchen garden, and the orchard now. And that is working unbelievably well. So let's just head back into the orchard and I will sort of show you that setup. I don't want to spend heaps and heaps of time on this. Obviously, I did not install it myself. I did get a professional to do it, and I appreciate that not everyone's super interested in it. But this is the setup here. These are the isolator valves. So this one here obviously goes to this side, this one here goes towards this side, and so it's as simple as turning on my irrigation like I normally would, and then just turning the valve off to this one, and then turning the valve off on and off to this one here. I'm kind of just switching it up. The reason why I have used you might be wondering why I didn't just water the entire thing plus the orchard. It's because of the water pressure. The more points, like sprinkler points you put on, obviously water is coming out of that, and then you will lose water pressure. The more areas, like the more space you're trying to water. That's why we have the separate beds set up with the irrigation. So that's a very, very brief summary. And so then what he's done is we've got the isolator here. That's the main there, so obviously there's one way and then the other way, and then he's just run the pipe in a bit of like a circle, like a semicircle I should say, down and around. You can see behind here, behind in amongst here, around down there, and then it just finishes here. Okay, and then if we go back to the original point, you can see he has installed the sprinklers here. So each kind of little garden bed has its own little sprinkler, but then the fruit trees also all have a very, very small emitter. So you can just see down here, it's got its own very, very tiny little emitter, and all of them have that, just to ensure that the fruit trees are getting enough water. And so that's kind of the little sort of situation down here. This one here does the cascades. This one here does the flower bed. And then as it ends here, this is the original pipe that also does the garden on the other side, but he's just run a couple of lines off. So you can see there's one here, which sort of does these beds as well as the peach tree. So it covers pretty well the entire garden here. I will turn the irrigation on probably towards the end of this video. I'm very conscious that this is, I don't know if it comes across on camera, but this is basically red dirt. So the moment it gets wet, it sticks and is very, very messy. So I don't want to do that while I'm in here and having to work and having to track, you know, red mud all throughout the garden area. So I will definitely show you it on so you've got a better idea of how it's working, what the coverage is, but that is what he has done. I'm over the moon with how it has worked out. The coverage is incredible. Anyway, I'm going to leave the irrigation at that. I really wanted to just explain it to you. I learnt about being able to sort of install irrigation and isolator valves from actually watching other people, like other gardening people on YouTube. So I just really did want to touch on it in case it is something that you've been thinking about, or you know, you're still hand watering and this is something that would really help you out. You know, we would just probably do this area, turn it on for 15 minutes, everything's watered and that's it. It's really time saving for you. Instead of having to come out here and hose everything by hand, you don't have to do that. So it's time saving, it's quite honestly water saving as well. Obviously if you're in an area that gets a lot of rain, you probably don't need to worry about this, but we could go months without rain here. So I do need to have the ability to top up the garden with a little bit of water just to kind of keep this all kind of, you know, trucking along. Anywho, so that is it. I will show you the irrigation, as I said, on later on in this video. But I'm probably going to head back inside now, and then I'm going to bring you along with me. I'm going to head to the landscaping supply store. I don't think I've ever brought you there before. Now that the irrigation is in, the last two big things that I'm wanting to do to sort of finalize, gosh, the wind today. I don't know if you're seeing all the leaves. Just below by the camera there is very, very windy. Okay, I just thought I would wait to continue speaking while that little gust did its thing and it settled back down. So hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now. Goodness, that was quite the gust of wind then. As I was saying, the last two big things that I'm wanting to do in this video now that the irrigation is in is pop in. I've been doing a lot of research online. I'm not sure how well it comes across on camera, but this is on a slope and you can kind of see there's this step here. I would like to put in probably another maybe 3 kind of pavers, and I almost want to dig them in a little bit just to kind of flatten them out, to kind of create a very, very loose kind of step down, just so that it's not, you know, when we've had rain or it's wet down here, it's not super slippery. So I would like to do that in this video. And then the last final thing I want to do is get the sandstone rocks to create this bed here, this bed here, and then kind of pop the potting soil over the top. And then throughout the rest of this whole area, I'm wanting to put down chip bark to kind of but cover this red soil, just so that I'm not tracking red soil throughout the garden and throughout the house. And gosh, I had to mop the other day. We had rain last week, as you would know, and I was just tracking dirt everywhere, all through the house. Yeah, definitely need to get this covered. So they're kind of the last, I suppose that's 3 things, not 2, but they're the last 3 things, and they're the 3 things I'm hoping to achieve in this video. So this video might be a bit of a multi-day video because it's definitely not all happening today, but I definitely want to head to the landscape supply store, get a few extra little stepping stones, get some of the sandstone, and also get the chip bark, and then we'll probably spend a good day out here trying to just get it all finalized and looking gorgeous. This project has consumed quite a bit of my time, but I'm so unbelievably happy with it. So happy with it. And I cannot wait to see like that final kind of product with the chip bark down, the beds. It's, yeah, I think it's, if I do say so myself, I think it's gonna look really, really lovely and be such a beautiful but practical space, you know, for my fruit trees, and just a space now that I'm going to use a lot, whereas I didn't really use it at all before. So anywho, that was a very long-winded start to the video. I do apologize, but yeah, so I will bring you along and let's head to the landscape supply store and let's pick up these last few bits and bobs. Well, if the sunset clips didn't tip you off, it is actually the next day. I've got Mum with me just to help me with all the rocks and the bits and pieces. But we are at the landscape supply store and we're going to start, we've planned ahead. We've bought gloves with us, gardening gloves with us to help with lifting everything. We're going to look at the pavers for the steps first, then we'll head around to the rocks and then probably to the chip bark. So I shall bring you around the landscape supply store with me, but we're just going to try and pick something from here first up. There's lots and lots of different options. I've currently got a lot of these in the garden. Oh, you like those?
You take them, or we just go to the smaller. That's what we normally get of those.
Yeah.
Ones, not these ones. Do you think that's just something coming?
Yeah. I think they might be hard to dig in because they're so much bigger.
Too big?
So we have got the stepping stones. I'm going to try and use these, as I said earlier in the video, as a bit of a loose stairwell. So we've got 4 of those. And we were just chatting to the lady that works here as to what would be the best. You can see they've got all their sort of mulch and chip bark and things over there. So she recommended the hoop bark. So we'll probably pick up a few bags of that as well. But first things first, we're going to head around and pick up the sandstone rocks. So we're just going to, it's a huge sort of property here, so we'll just drive to the next area. All right, we are over in the rock area. And these are sort of the sandstone rocks that I was telling you about. We do have our gloves with us. And what we're wanting to do is edging rocks. So what we're looking for is like rocks like this, fairly small, but that have kind of flattish edges on them to make them easier to kind of create little borders. So I'm just going to put my gloves on now and we'll just carry pretty much as many as we can fit into the car, and I'll show you what the end result looks like. So rocks have been secured. I mean, I know that probably looks like a crazy amount of rocks, but we're not even sure if that's going to do the entire space. They don't look like much now, and I will just say they are like covered in dirt, dust, whatever. So once they've been placed and obviously they've been watered and, you know, washed over and that, they come up so pretty, and they're all different. Like, hopefully you can see here, like they've all got different like color tones on them, and they just really add a nice structure, like a lovely sort of organic, authentic kind of structure into the garden with these rocks. And obviously they match throughout the whole sort of cottage garden area, so it kind of just ties everything together, as do these sort of stepping stones here. So now we've got those, we're going to swing around to where the hoop bark is that we're going to put down to kind of cover the red dirt. So that is going to be the next stop. We'll get a couple of bags of that. I'm gonna start to run. They only have 5 bags of the hoop bark, so we'll probably try and pick up the 5 bags. And then they do sort of have, not necessarily a nursery here, but they do have sort of like pots and things, so I wouldn't mind having a little look through there as well before we head to the next stop. Just having a little look around sort of where all their pots are. Obsessed with these urns. 149. Like, look how nice this is. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's really nice, isn't it?
It's really pretty. It's already on a
Yeah, like little pedestal.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. That'd be pretty for the patio.
If you're thinking, you know, that one.
These are really cute. These ones. I have lots of really nice pots here. I have another project in mind coming up, and quite a number of these pots would be perfect for that. Like, I mean, I love these urns, but this is really nice. And like $79 is such a good price for that. I really like that. But I also really like these ones that are on like, so this and this is the same, and you can see they're just like on these little plinths. I think that's so nice. Ooh, it might be coming back here. Oh wow. How gorgeous. Look at these. Oh, $30. Oh my goodness. For bulbs next year. They would be so nice.
Like wider ones.
You can fit 3 bulbs in there.
3 you would, yes.
Oh, for like on the kitchen island? No. 32. Yeah, I love that colour.
Style.
Yes. That would be so nice on the kitchen island for like next year. Yeah. Yeah, the blue's over there. So they've got this green, which I'll just gently pop back. And like the vases. Oh gosh. Such pretty things. And then they have this colour here. I think, oh, look at a little beehive.
Yeah.
A little bird, a beehive. Very, very cute. I like the chickens too.
Yeah.
The chickens are nice.
Put them in the yard.
Yeah. That is adorable. Oh, I think these are really pretty. Even I really do like those green ones. That green colorway is really nice.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, quite lovely.
Also really loving this pedestal here. It's $149, and there are multiple places in the whole garden I could think of where I could use this. Oh gosh, this time of the year is a very expensive time of the year, but oh goodness me, even the color's really nice. I mean, $149 seems expensive, but I've been looking at other ones at the moment and they're like $230, I think, $230. So that is actually a very good price for this, and it's solid. Like, I'm struggling to lift that. I do really like that. I like this pot and this one here. I'll have to ponder. Alright, we have got everything we came for. We did not end up buying any of the pots, merely because we have no room in this car. It's completely full. We did actually have another garden stop to pick up some potting soil, but I might have to head home, unload everything, and then pop back out again for that. So we're gonna head home now and try and get this all unloaded. So we have very, very quickly unloaded all of the items from the car, and we've just come to the local sort of pub here, and I'm just gonna treat Mum to some lunch at the pub. They have quite the nice menu here actually. There's so many nice, like, delicious. I had this last time, which was incredible, so I'm thinking of maybe that this time. But yes, we're gonna have some lunch, and then we've got to stop at the garden centre on the way home and just pick up some more soil. So lunch has arrived and it looks massive. I've got a slow braised beef rib on a bed of like broccoli and potatoes, and Mum went for the porcini mushroom. Look, there it is. I know. It looks absolutely delicious. We're both starving, so we are going to dig in and then we'll head to the garden centre. Lunch was absolutely delicious. And so we've just finished up at the pub, and on the way home we've just stopped at the garden centre to pick up some extra soil just to finish off the orchard. I want to kind of just do some topsoil, like topsoil dressing, where I'm creating the garden beds with the rocks. So that is what we are doing here. And of course, while I'm here, I thought I'd have a little look around. Oh wow, look how big this is. It's a hibiscus flower. Massive. Look at these. Look. They're like little fairy dresses. And they have them like in the yellow and the white. Chinese lanterns. I have actually tried to grow these before. They did not do well. They just kind of require a little bit more care than what my garden provides. I mean, look at these ones. Don't they look like lanterns? You know those paper lanterns? Oh, that's crazy. Isn't nature just so amazing? They really look like paper lanterns. I've got a crab apple here. It's coming into bloom. These are like my I'm trying to think, like Malaysian orchids. That's the purple. I've got the pink ones. See, like the chandelier in there. Mine are actually bouncing back. You would not believe. I'll definitely show you in a future video. But they are coming back, and they've got little sprouts all over them. Okay, we are home, and this is the chaos that awaits us. So we've got all the rocks here. I'm pretty sure the stepping stones are in here. Bags of soil are still in the car. We've got all of the mulch, the sort of like chip bark top layer here. We've got 5 bags. I don't think it's going to be enough, so it might be another trip to the gardens, the landscape supply centre. And if it's not coming across on the camera, it is blowing a gale today, which is actually quite nice because it's making it a bit cooler. Also, look at this little ground cover. How pretty are the flowers? It's looking very sweet there. So it's probably about, I'd say maybe 2:30 now in the afternoon, which is actually, I mean, it's late for me to start gardening now, but it is obviously, as you can see, a lot more shaded down here, which is going to be very helpful from the sort of sun perspective. it won't be as hot. And so I think if nothing else, this afternoon, what I'm keen to try and do is kind of dig in the garden beds here, and then maybe just place the rocks. If I can get that done, I've got Mum here, bless Mum. If we can get that done today and get the rocks in, then it's really just popping the topsoil over, which will be all right, and then trying to tackle these stepping stones and just this sort of mulch. But as I said, I don't know if I've got enough mulch for the whole space at this moment, so we may have to make another trip to the garden centre. Possibly tomorrow, possibly the day after. So we'll see how it all kind of, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I have just seen, oh, can you see this? The seeds are all coming up. This whole row has come up. These ones back here, oh my goodness, I've just literally seen this. As I was chatting to you, I just look. Oh, little sprouts. Oh my goodness, that was so quick. That's crazy. So quick. Wow. Gosh, it is blowing an absolute gale. How's this little fella going? Oh. He's going okay. A little bit worried about this one. But it was smaller to begin with, this little Banksia rose. Anyway, I won't chat to you anymore. I'm going to find a place to prop you. I'm probably going to pop you on the sun. Oh my gosh. Look at these little ruffly blooms on the peach tree. Look at that. Aren't they so pretty? The peach blossoms. Alright, I'm going to prop you up somewhere and we're going to get going. The wind is insane. It is crazy at the moment. So, while the gusts have very quickly settled, I thought I would show you. I've just used the shovel to kind of just dig in this little sort of shape here, and then we're going to start placing the rocks, and we'll see how it kind of looks once they're all placed in, and yeah, go from there. So I'll show you once we've got some of the rocks placed. I'm sorry, I'm not putting you on a time lapse at the moment. I can't use the tripod with this wind, otherwise you will blow over and smash. So I will show you once we've got a few rocks in and you can see what I mean. So it has been a mammoth effort over the probably last half hour. So we've got the garden edging in here, as you saw earlier, and then we have the steps down just starting. Some of that will just need to be backfilled, and then obviously once we have the chip bark in, that will kind of hide some of the other bits there. But it's working really well, and we're also almost done here with this little garden bed. So all in all, an absolutely mammoth effort this afternoon. I'll check in with Mum and see how she's feeling. How are you feeling? Do you want to keep going, or what do you want to try and do next? Do you want to do bark, or you want to do soil, topsoil?
I'm ready to soil in my car.
Okay. So we're going to do topsoil next. So I'm going to start going, we've got one here that we were using, but I'll start ferrying it out from the car, and then we're just going to kind of, fill in these beds here with some topsoil, just dressing it a little bit, and I think that will look really nice, and I also think it will just provide a bit of like added nutrients for the plants and hopefully help a little bit with water loss and things down here. But all looking very, very good. My Mum's finished over there. I'll give you a little look-see over this corner so you can see garden edging all finished here. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to go start ferrying the potting mix or the topsoil bags, and we will see how this all looks. Ugh, it is looking incredible. I'll definitely give you a shot from up here. I think that's going to give you a better sort of bird's eye view of the space once we're done, but it's looking so incredible. So I've ferried some garden soil bags down. I've also got more up the top, and I'm just going to start, I might actually start in this bed over here. I'm just going to start, putting the topsoil on, and we'll see how it looks. I'll try and pop you on a time lapse. I'll try and pop you somewhere out of the wind, in the hope that you don't sort of get blown over. The wind seems to be slightly better than earlier, but we'll see how we go. So we are going to call it a day today. Gosh, it's about 4 o'clock, but we have had a mammoth effort. I would say in the last 2 hours, we've popped in the extra 3 steps there, did the garden edging on both those beds, popped all the topsoil in. I actually think the topsoil makes such a difference. They just look quite fresh at the moment. Mum also spent considerable honestly, I can't even talk. Oh, I'm so exhausted, I can't even talk. Mum spent a considerable amount of time, is what I was trying to say, burying the pipe. So previously you would have been able to see that really large irrigation pipe, but she has just buried it under the dirt there. She's done such an amazing job. I cannot get over those flower seedlings coming up. That's like been a week. They said almost 2 weeks. It's so exciting. But yes, so that is going to be all for today. We are definitely going to be back out here early tomorrow morning. I want to try and get all of this rubbish collected, and then sort of start sorting it into the garden bins, either sort of general waste, or although these I actually might, so these are, it's a blue glazed pot that had smashed. So I actually might smash that up into smaller pieces, and then I can kind of use them for things. So that will definitely not go to waste, but I want to kind of try and get this into the green sort of garden recycling bin. I think it is looking so good. So tomorrow we will just sort of finish everything off, kind of finish bedding in the steps, and then trying to get all of the chip bark. We're not going to be able to finish it all tomorrow. It'll probably be another day, but because we've only got the 5 bags of the sort of mulch, chip bark, whatever you'd like to call it, and I suspect we will probably need more. I definitely think we'll be able to get this main area all done, but I would like to kind of continue the chip bark all the way sort of out towards this main tree here, and I don't think we have enough to do that. So that is definitely going to be the tasks for tomorrow. But I think you will agree that it is looking so good. I mean, if I do say so myself, I think it's looking really amazing. I also picked up a couple of little solar lights to sort of place just here at the entrance. So we'll do all of that tomorrow, and as I said, I'll give you a final tour. I can't believe I'm saying that. This project is almost done. It is unbelievable. It has been probably just over a month now since I started it, and while it has been a lot of hard work and a lot of effort from multiple people, it has been so worth it to see this space transform from what it was to now. I will definitely, towards the end, once it's all done, I will put photos up on screen so you can kind of see the before and then see what it looks like now. But the space will continue to evolve as well. I think I showed you today that pillar. I'm very intrigued about that pillar, and I'm thinking that it would be really nice sort of in this little back corner here, where I can put like little harvest baskets or flower baskets on it. Mum and I were talking about at lunch getting native Atherton raspberry bushes, and I probably would put them along the fence here in pots, definitely in pots. They go a little bit wild if you plant them in the ground, so this space will definitely evolve, and I really truly hope you're enjoying this series, watching this whole space. But as I said at the beginning, this will probably be the last dedicated video, but if you subscribe, you will be able to kind of join me on this entire journey. I mean, the entire journey of the whole back, garden areas, the cottage garden space, and of course this orchard, as I add bits and pieces, as everything grows. And it's, such a learning experience for me. I'm definitely not a expert gardener by any means. I'm learning. Everything I do is brand new to me and is a complete learning experience. So anywho, I'm going to stop waffling on, and I'm probably actually going to start watering. I've got a little bit of watering to do before I can kind of go in and have my shower. So I'm going to see you tomorrow morning, and we are going to get stuck into getting all of this mulch, chip bark, whatever down, and yeah, have it looking gorgeous. Place the solar lights. Oh, yay! Okay, I have just finished giving everything a really good water. You can, just very quickly, you can see here all this, the red dirt. I cannot wait to get the mulch down and get the soil down in the orchard covered, just so that we're not tracking the dirt all through the garden. It is everywhere at the moment. Once the orchard is done, I'm definitely going to have to get the gurney out and just give the whole garden a really good clean up. But while I was hosing and watering everything, I had a little bit of a change of mind. I had originally intended for this video to be the last video of the orchard transformation, but I actually am thinking I'm going to end this video here. I'm very conscious this video is already quite long, and after the journey of transforming that space, I really don't want to rush the end of it, and I really want to be able to give you a great tour around. I want to be able to show you, how it's looking. I don't want to rush it, and I just feel like once we finish it, I want to put the lights in. I'm leaning towards getting that pillar, and I feel like if I continue with this video now, I'm going to be sort of rushing the end of the orchard, just so that this video doesn't, end up being 2 hours long. And quite honestly, I don't want to do that. I've put a lot of time and effort in, and I truly, truly hope you have all enjoyed kind of coming along for the journey and watching the space evolve over the weeks. And I'm hoping you feel the same, and that you don't want me to, just rush in and finish it off and give you a 2-minute tour of the orchard and be like, well, yep, done. And that's kind of, Anyway, so in thinking all of that, what I've decided is I'm going to end this video now. It is quite late, but I'm going to go in, have my shower, and then have some dinner. And then I will pick the camera up again tomorrow, and I will film the finale, which is going to be part 6. So I know it wasn't as what I had originally intended at the start of this video, but I just think that is going to give you a much better finish to this whole series, this entire transformation, this evolution of the space. And I think it's going to be much, much nicer. So I'm going to bid you farewell now. And again, I truly, truly hope you have been enjoying these videos, and you have been enjoying, spending time with me and with Mum, and, as we've been working on getting this space to the point where it's at right now. As I said earlier, it's been a lot of hard work, but so enjoyable and definitely so worth it. So if you have been enjoying these videos, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed. It means the world to me when you do. So in this absolutely gorgeous evening twilight, I'm going to say good night, and I will pick up the camera tomorrow and I will start to film part 6. And the more I've thought about this, I was feeling definitely much more comfortable with that. We can get the mulch down in the next video, take our time doing that. Let's head back to the garden centre. Let's get the end of, the final bags of mulch. Let's possibly get my little pillar. Let's put the lights in. And then that way I will give you a really lovely tour once it's all done. So you can kind of see, and then I can show you the photos, like the before photos and how it's looking now, and give you all of those comparisons without feeling rushed or feeling like this video is just going on for much too long. I appreciate that you're all incredibly busy, and you probably don't want to be sitting watching watching it for 2 hours. So good night to you, and I will see you in probably, I don't know if it's going to be the next video. It might be, you'll be watching this on a Wednesday. So I think the next video, just with how the videos, the sequences will work, I think the next video is probably just going to be a really lovely sort of slow cottage day, getting some additional plants into the garden and just spending a really delightful sort of luxurious slow day. And then part 6 will probably be next Wednesday. Once everything is done, that will just sort of give me the time to get all the final little bits. It's actually, anyway, it's a public holiday tomorrow and things won't be open and all sorts of things. So, yeah. All right. Well, again, good night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.